seeing some enemies showing up on the map here. I'm thinking that might be because at the moment, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, we have marked, or we're about to head over to the actual location of this mission. So, I'm trying to think if we want to do this right now, if we want to pass them by, or at least maybe fight whatever enemies there might be outside this underground facility, and then continue our exploration, and then when we double back or, you know, check what's in the middle, we'll finish by actually going inside. Maybe that's the play here. Let's see if we can snipe these guys from up here at the Mako, because, yeah, speaking of sniping, those red lines are, yep, them sniping us. One of them did hit us, but thankfully it only hit our shield, so eventually those should come back. There we go. We can outsnipe the snipers. There's one here. Oh, and away he goes. Away he goes. Okay. See a body here, but I think that's a dead body. Oh, this is a person. Was a person. We got some meta gel as well, for what it's worth. Sounds good to me. We did get equipment from it. Okay, so now we, of course, just recently got our first level 10 item. Now we're getting level 9 as well, which is, I mean, we still need plenty of those, so that's fine. Also worth way more. So these, unfortunately, Alanis Risk Control, Elcos Combine, not great. Not great, the items, but just because they're high level, they are worth a decent amount. They are useful in that sense. Like I said, I think we can see the exterior of the base, but it is an underground facility, so we would eventually end up going inside. Let's, however, finish our exploration of this planet first. Let's go around the southern portion. Can we keep our elevation here? Because, like, I'd love to not have to try to ascend. That doesn't look like fun. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to go far enough south to actually loop around there, and even that I'm not sure is enough of a bridge for us to get to that other elevated section, but I think that's at least, in theory, what we'd like to do. Yeah, it's looking like we're gonna, yep, the edge, well, that's actually the eastern edge that Joker's yelling at us about. The southern one that we care most about here, but I don't think we are going to be able to connect here, was my hope, so we wouldn't have to climb back up. I mean, that there is maybe doable. Maybe even that, but toward the latter half of that might start to get too steep. I think that's the path we try to ascend, more or less. Fortunately, the facility itself looks like it's somewhat elevated, not super elevated, so yeah, we could drive up that easily. We're getting back there, shouldn't be much of a problem. Got some resources over here as well. I think it's maybe that. Yeah, let's see. Let's see what this is like. How bad can it be? Is this doable? Speed definitely helps build up some momentum. But we're gonna presumably stop to get this palladium. Yeah, let's swoop in to take that. And yeah, you know, if we sneak in here, this could potentially work. This is drivable. Yeah, look at that. We found a way.
You need to turn back, Commander. You're going beyond the
Not even
range
that
of
close to the edge,
operational
Joker.
area.
But anyways, we found our way up, seemingly. There we go. Alright, so we'll just ride this edge of the map a bit here. Don't even need to necessarily be that close to the southern border. so this should be fine. This is a little bit on an angle here. We were hearing about how this planet is rather Earth-like, and it does look the part. But unfortunately, there's that. Which I believe is the moon. The one that is on a crash course, potentially. Let's head over for these resources now. We're actually probably not quite as far south as we'd like to be, just to make sure we aren't missing anything down there. But, okay, these resources are... Oh. Whatever do we have here? Hold on. A gold deposit. Let's take this. Nab the gold. Sure. And let's save real quick. Because what do we have here? Huh? Huh? What are these things? What are these, you ask? That's the second type of unusual creatures we've encountered on this planet. They do seem to have some kind of potential way to interact with them, although not seemingly letting us do so. Right, this one is just floating, but you know, we'll just keep an eye out for them. Strange. Very strange. Because what are they, you ask? Well, they're space cows. And this cow in particular. This cow in particular looks awfully shifty. Awfully shifty. Those hands. Those front hands. Like an extra pair of limbs that just shouldn't have. They just look a little crabby. You know? A little crabby. So what if we, like, say, just take a look at our credit count here. So we're at what? That's 78 million. Losing track of the zeros here, but you know, 7,879,005. And then if we just casually turn our back real quick. Shifty looking cow. We can talk to you? If we look away, look at the bottom right corner. It steals your credits, this shifty looking cow. If you look away from it, it will quite literally sneak up behind you. It will sneak up behind you and it will steal your credits. So, it's a little Easter egg of sorts on this planet. It is located next to, as you're seeing there, that gold deposit. And there, you just saw it. I was just walking away. We look away. You can see that it stops moving right as we look back at it. It's devious. And if you are not paying attention, it can steal a whole lot of credits. I did know it was going to happen, so I deliberately not let it happen for too long. But it has the potential to rob you of quite a hefty sum. Now, it does, at least if you're using a controller, it does vibrate your controller. So if you aren't expecting it, then that should at least get your attention a bit. But bear that in mind, that shifty-looking cow can cause a lot of trouble if you let it. If you let it. Let's see. So, that being said, let's start heading up in the northerly direction. So yeah, I'm curious. Let me know, for those of you who have played Mass Effect before, did you know that the Shifty Cow existed? That's one question. And then if you did know that the Shifty Cow existed, did you know what it does? And then I suppose, additional question, did you let it steal from you? To which I'm sure everyone will say, oh yeah, of course, Lids, I knew it existed. I knew it stole credits, and I never let it steal a penny. For demonstration purposes, well, we had it steal, like, maybe 80? It's not so bad, but, that was just a split second of letting it steal from us. And so if, you know, I'm not actually sure. There's a chance that the rate at which it steals credits increases the longer you let it do so. There's a non-zero chance that's a thing. In which case, you know, if you look away for a second, if you walk away from the game and you happen to be standing somewhere near it, it will sneak up next to you, steal credits from you, and you could be quite literally broke by the time you come back. So I would say, don't take bathroom breaks if you are hanging out next to the shifty-looking cow, unless you make sure to pause the game. I mean, you should pause the game if you walk away from it, right? But, you know, just thinking of what the worst-case scenario might be, and that's I'd say probably the one that you definitely want to avoid. Best-case scenario, if you do want to see what it does, is, you know, along the lines of what we were just doing there. Just slowly, approach, and it's specifically when you turn your back is when it will start to make its move. And once it's close enough to you, it will start to steal. And like I said, if you're using a controller, it will vibrate your controller, so you'll know. And if you look in the bottom right corner, you'll see exactly how many credits it's stealing. I did not remember that it did that. I did not remember that it showed you the number of credits it was stealing as it did so. That may or may not be new. I may just not remember that part. Alright, so we are now at the northern edge as well. I'm trying to remember where we first ended up on this map. I think we were more or less right here, right? Because we were on basically the opposite side from the underground facility. So let's just go a little bit further to confirm that we've seen the entire perimeter. Then we'll look in at the middle, and from there, we'll start heading toward our primary objective. So yeah, we had the little, or actually the somewhat large space insects. Now let's go for the middle, which I think you technically may be able to kill. I didn't try because, you know, that's like, this is their native world, and their planet is doomed. It is going to get destroyed. So that's the last thing we should be doing, is destroying the local ecology. Did you not remember that we read that entry before entering this planet, in which it stated that clearly we should be trying to preserve these life forms because otherwise they're going to go extinct and never be seen or heard from again? So obviously it is objectively the wrong answer to try to kill those species. That would be directly contrary to the entire objective of all those efforts. I mean, are you serious? And you may even be able to kill the space cows as well, although I think the space cows, specifically the Shifty cow, if you take it out, which, if you can, then the Shifty cow might be unkillable, but if it is, then I think it does spawn back. I think it does spawn back. So I'm pretty sure you can kill it and it will come back, and there's no stopping it. It will come back, and it will find you. And it will find all of your credits, one way or another. Mass Effect Shifty Cow Edition DLC, coming out soon. Okay, now admittedly I've just kind of been wandering around aimlessly here, assuming that we were somewhere in the middle of the map. We are. Okay, that actually worked out fairly well for us. That being said, can't tell if this map is actually, this world, is actually bigger than others, or if it's just that the relatively extreme elevation. Also, we should definitely actually mark this, so that I'm not constantly looking over my shoulder at the objective taking us in the wrong direction. Yeah, this is a large, flat area here. Okay, yeah, we were there for the resources. I do remember that. This is big enough that, you know, we could go a little bit in this direction and still not catch everything. Just do a little snake maneuver. A little sidewinder action for you. Skirt! Okay, that didn't really work nearly as well as I was hoping it would. I was kind of going for the whole Tokyo Drift thing. No such luck from the Mako, though. As everyone knows, when you try to make the Mako do crazy things, it does not. And when you want the Mako to behave, that is when it loses its mind. But anyways, we are approaching the facility now, and I feel like we may not have gotten everywhere here. I feel like there would perhaps still be a little bit more stuff here that we might have missed, although I suppose the Shifty Cow, although technically didn't show up, it's sort of like it is definitely its own special thing, so even if this planet does kind of sort of look like it might be a little less notable than others, with the actual resources and side quest related things that we can get from it, or the Shifty Cow is, there's only one of them. Spoilers. There's only one of them, and it's here. It's the one and only. It's the unique. The best of the best. Shifty Cow. Coming to theaters this September. Alright, so this is the base where we sniped a bunch of people with our Mako, and as you can see, they are, well, dead. Thought we just absolutely obliterated some of their cover as well with one of our Mako cannon shots, which was kind of hilarious. Like, I did not realize we could shatter those, but hold on just a second. I need to confirm. Yes! Confirmed. You can shatter them.
Area secured.
And potentially cause texture issues in doing so. That might be what's happening there? I don't know. I don't know. Let's save before we hop in here. Because this is, of course, the primary reason for it. No, let's be honest. Shifty Cow was the primary reason we got here. This is just a side act. Alright, let's take a look at our map of this area. Looking like our usual layout here. We have the thing we are looking for is over there, but we have small entryway, no signs of enemies, at least on our mini-map, so not sure what we're gonna run into there. And then we have the big area, and then that's the back room where we're expecting to have whatever we need to have. I mean, we're trying to, in theory, rescue the one scientist who is surviving after, I think it was 4 that we heard have been killed. At least this past month. But oh man, you should have seen the month before. Month before, it's 4.5. Now that was a terrible sight to see. Okay, so let's move in. Well, that doesn't look good. And for what it's worth, it does look like the same kind of mercenary guys that we were killing outside. Hopefully not an innocent civilian or scientist, but it doesn't really look like it. Yeah, we've got level 9 Inferno rounds, so that's not bad. Probably not my preferred upgrade, but level 9 is level 9. Then combat optics, okay, and proton rounds. So combat optics, I think that might be the first time we've gotten that upgrade, but just to show you what it's all about. Is basically an upgrade version of the combat scanner. So it's a level 9 detection scanner, and then also gives an accuracy bonus as well. So better than all the other previous scanners in that sense, just from a pure scanning ability. It has higher level detection, but actually does affect the power of your weapons, at least in the way of accuracy goes. So, that's helpful if you do find yourself in a situation in which your radar is jammed. Really, Rex? This happened a lot recently, where just one of our teammates, depends who it is, but just one of our teammates decides they're just not gonna move. They're just gonna chill at the entryway. Let's save the aid state. Oh, actually, hold on. Only 6 metashells? We do actually need them on this occasion. That is one of, if not the only time, when we've actually needed to restock. We probably had to restock on one occasion, but that was probably from the crazy Rachni spaceship. Alright, let's open this door here. And now we're starting to see the enemies. Okay, Rex, if you could, or rather, Garrus, if you could actually come with us here, that'd be great. Oh. Yeah, that's a lot of enemies, in fact. So remember, this team is not the tankiest of teams. Let's open this and fall back. Yeah. And we don't have an easy just throw Rex out there as a as some bait. And then draw these people in through here. I mean, that may still be what we do, but we just don't have as good of a person at doing that, because if Garrus does get hit, then he's gonna go down much more quickly than Rex did. But I think, guess what, buddy? You first. Now fall back. We've got their attention. Other thing is, did we might have better armor? You, Garrus? Slightly better shields, but the damage protection is far worse. Yeah, I think we're sticking with what you have is actually quite good. Titan is very good, so we'll stick with that. As for Caden, though, we still rocking the pink armor? Yeah, it does seem as though that's the best we have for you. Okay. Garrus has got rid of somebody, seemingly. Oh, a mercenary back here. So as we probably expected, they are mercenaries. Stasis is one of them. So we can take him out. There is also a, this guy just did not die. I think he has immunity on. Might have picked the wrong time. That was, our weapon actually overloaded in the process. There was a Krogan next to this guy to the right that we were just completely ignoring. Somehow it didn't hit us. And I think Garrus eventually did take him out, so that was cool. Let's use a different type of ability. Try to incapacitate you. There we go. Oh, there is the Krogan guy, who is now taking notice of us, but he's down. Let's take a second here, get our shields to recover. Any second now? Okay, now let's...
Go, go, go!
Hear them. Are they actually moving in on us, though? They say they're going. They're all right there. Yep. Can we lift a large group of them? That'd be great. In theory, there's an AoE on lift, but I think we only got one. Let's throw you. Now we're getting potentially rushed by someone else. You... Let's sabotage your weapons. Yep, there's definitely someone right on top of us. Let's stasis you before you cause too many problems. And that might not have been necessary. Okay, you don't have shields, so overload doesn't really matter. Let's throw on marksman. Try to get a little bit more damage. Probably relevant right about now. This guy as well. Please get out of here. You do have shields. Let's overload you. And shoot you in the leg. Oh, nope, never mind. Oh, you turn on immunity at the worst possible time. Okay, let's ignore that guy for now. Let's instead focus on this Krogan, who does not want to die. Now we're about to get hit by the guy who we're ignoring, though, right? Yeah, okay. His immunity is down. So now we stasis him. And shoot him in the face. Okay. Guys, shooting at the wall is probably not going to help. Yeah, this guy's going to regenerate a bunch of HP because he's Krogan. And he's getting his shield back now, so let's do something about that. Now we stand. There's one left, it seems. Might just be... Ooh, sniper, look out. Okay, let's stasis you. Did I actually get you? I think so. But I need better aim. Well, there you go. And that's the power of stasis. So,
Area secured.
I think that's the last of them by the looks of things here. I did see some sources of loot, though, potentially numerous. So let's slow down a little bit, take a deep breath, and see what we can find here, like this. Locked crate here. Okay, some more level 9s. Ooh, that is probably going to be an armor upgrade for Garrus. That's, it is 9, but that's a bad manufacturer, so that might not be an upgrade for Rex. Let's take a look. Oh, and we also took out a bunch of people, so we got some gear from that too. Anything good there? Combat optics might be the best out of that, although probably don't need too many of those, and we did pick one up recently. Let's take a look here. This is the one we just saw. Okay, so the damage protection is definitely worse. It has a ton of shields and a large amount of tech biotic protection. I think this one is probably better. I mean, it is the same rarity manufacturer and just one level higher, but this manufacturer specializes clearly in shields, whereas the one that Garrus currently has equipped probably specializes in damage protection. I think damage protection usually is better, but there's probably enough of a difference with these other things that we should just go for the raw number increase, and, you know, the slightly worse, somewhat significantly worse damage protection. We'll live with it. And, I mean, tell you what, we do have ablative coating, which we can definitely upgrade as one of your upgrades here. So we have 12% damage protection on that, but if we improve that to 18, then, alright, you get 6% more damage protection from that. That's almost making up for the 10 damage protection you lost from that armor swap. And you still get the huge boost to shields and pretty sizable to tech and biotic protection as well. Also, the coloration, kind of interesting. I don't know. I probably do prefer it to Caden's. Sorry, Caden, and it's nothing against the pink, I don't think you can rock it. Just don't really think it just doesn't work with your complexion, you know? Something about it. Oh, let's maybe do that. Got medkit there. We've got this source locker. Let's nab some stuff out of this. Now. Okay, that's a good pistol. And, mostly the pistol. In fact, we might even use that for ourselves right now. Look at that heatsink capacity. Wow. So obviously this manufacturer specializes in that, because the meter is full. But it is a slight accuracy decrease and probably most importantly a slight damage decrease, which I don't like to see very much. Also, I'm pretty sure we're using, oh no, Shredder. Okay, for a second I thought we were using tungsten rounds against humans, and that obviously is less than ideal. We might stick with what we have going right now. We might. I mean, it's a level 7 weapon, but it is one of the Spectre pistols, and that's why it's been so good for so long. And here's a comparison. Good manufacturer, the second best, just under the Spectre gear. Bad manufacturer. Both level 9. Stat-wise, they're almost twice as good, the stats on the good manufacturer's weapon. So, yeah, that's the difference we're looking at. Oh, I suppose maybe Caden. I suppose we could put him on Caden. I mean, I'd probably prefer giving someone else a better pistol, but it is kind of important for you. And, yeah, it is just an upgraded version of your currently equipped pistol, so, sure. It makes some sense. Ooh, almost missed this. And speaking of which, well, we have a few more good pistols now. Including a slightly different one, Karpov, which I might now prefer. Because that's a small damage increase, a small heatsink capacity increase, maybe we live with a small accuracy downgrade. But we could also, actually, tell you what, we've been using Combat Optics 8. Oh, we already had Combat Optics then, I suppose. We threw it on ourselves. But we can give ourselves 3% better accuracy, which I think doesn't quite make up for the accuracy loss, but it's close. Lost 13, gain 3, okay. There is the medkit here. I'm sure we'll take it, I guess. Is there any other stuff to loot? There's quite a bit of stuff in here, clearly. But I have perhaps lost track a little bit of sections we have and have not tried to loot here. Just look at the middle, I'm not sure we've done that. This way, no, that's just Caden. I think we may be good in that case. In which case, let's save now. Reason for that being is because we know our primary objective is in there. I mean, I suppose we may be able to go to this other side first, then finish the big stuff, but there's still a lot of dead people in here. I'm thinking we go there last. Oh, well, tell you what, we can't even go in here, so, yep. We are going here last. We're also going here first, because this is the only place we can go now.
Stay back! I've got no grief with you. All I want is this bastard.
Please! He's a madman! Mr. Toombs, you're insane! You need help!
It's Corporal! Corporal Toombs! You don't get to lie! Not today! Today it all comes out!
Okay, so clearly we found ourselves in a rather dire situation. Let's talk this out. Let's just put down the gun and we can help. We can help.
What all comes out? I'm listening. But I need you to put that gun down.
You don't understand. I don't want to kill anyone. I want to go to sleep without screaming in my dreams. I want the people who sent me to Aku's brought to justice.
Can't you see that Toombs is crazy? Shoot him!
But if I can't get that, I'll have to settle for killing the men who took my life away.
Yeah, so, clearly this guy does appear to be very ready to kill this scientist, saying he wants to hold the people who sent him to Aku's accountable, and, this is perhaps a reference to, we remember before we went in on this mission, Admiral Hackett was telling us about this research mission, and how it sort of was simultaneous with a group that got absolutely annihilated by a Thresher Maw, or potentially a group of Thresher Maws. And so, obviously, the scientist was, one would assume, he is the one remaining scientist from said group of scientists, and so it's the person we're trying to save here. But then this guy, I would think, if he's sort of accusing those scientists, that he is saying that whatever they were doing, they sent him and his team, who I suppose, based on what we've heard, is now dead, out there, and they got killed, so he is not happy. So, let's talk it out. What exactly happened?
What did the doctor do to you, Corporal?
We were on Aku's when the Thresher Maws hit.
Plural.
My entire
Yeah, that's pretty
unit
nasty.
was wiped out. The Thresher Maws. The scientists were studying them. They let them hit our unit just to watch.
Ooh, yeah, that's not a
Woke up
good
in a
look.
holding cell. The scientists were delighted I'd survived. Now they had someone to run tests on.
So, that's interesting. What exactly do you mean? I mean, that does sound pretty terrible, yeah?
What kind of tests are we talking about?
You can't believe Toombs. He doesn't have any proof. I demand a fair trial.
You shouldn't
Ever
be
had Thresher Maw acid
trying
in
to
your veins?
negotiate with this guy when he's pulling the
I have.
gun on you.
They wanted to see what it would do. They treated me like a lab animal. I only escaped because somebody destroyed Cerberus, their big organization.
Ah,
This is
we did
justice.
that.
This man deserves to die. So, are you going to kill me or not?
Okay, so, lots of things happening here. Quick mention, that whole Cerberus thing. He only says that if you have already done all of the Admiral Hackett, or not Admiral Hackett, Admiral Kahoku-based missions, the set of 3, where we first looked for the survey team, they got attacked by a pressure maw, then we tracked down Cerberus, and they were doing some experiments on Rachni, and eventually they killed Kahoku. And so that is what he's referencing there. So he's saying he was able to escape because we took out Cerberus. And so does that mean that these researchers were affiliated with Cerberus as well? Or Cerberus is, as we also recently just learned, also using those Rachni and basically sending shipments of them out onto planets to take out what was initially just places where they're expecting to run into pirates, but who knows what they would have done had the Rachni not gotten out of control. So that's all that stuff. The other thing is, the reason why I did not do this mission for a while, despite I think we technically did get the assignment for it relatively early on, this is a really hard skill check to make for either the Paragon, or obviously we can't do the Renegade option because or Charm and Intimidate because we definitely don't all Charm here. But yeah, so this is let's use said Charm option because this doesn't seem like the just way to go about finding some sort of solution to this situation you find yourself in. I mean, also, like, clearly this guy is suffering from some pretty serious PTSD here.
You're better than this, Toombs. You're not like them.
Don't tell me who I am. You got away with a few scratches and a scary reputation. The rest of the unit died, and I was
So
tortured
note that.
for years, Shepard. You can't judge me. You don't have the right.
So, this is also something that is specifically a reference to your Shepard's background. However, it is actually bugged. So, it's supposed to be that I believe it's specifically if you choose, I think it's the Sole Survivor background, then basically the backstory for that background is that you were on that mission on a cruise where your unit got attacked by Thresher Maws and you were the only person who survived. I don't remember if we took that. We may have taken that one. But the reason why it's bugged is that even if you don't take that, he still makes that reference as if you were there, even if you don't have the background that would say that you were there. So no matter what, he says you were there and you escaped, and therefore, you don't have the same kind of, you didn't go through the same type of stressful situation that I did, basically. So, I couldn't help then, I suppose?
Toombs, if I could have helped you on a cruise, I would have. All I can do is help now. Let me.
Okay. I'm no murderer. They couldn't make me one. Just as long as he goes to trial. Maybe the screaming will stop now. I don't know.
It's okay. It's okay.
Those bastards can't hurt you anymore. Joker, tell the 5th Fleet we need a ship for pickup.
Aye, aye, Commander.
Alright, so Toombs stares morosely at the floor, lost in his memories. You give the scientist a shove toward the door. Your mission is complete. The Alliance courts will take care of it from here. And we can exit the bunker. Actually, not sure if you can say no to that. I think we can technically go back in. And that is actually somewhat significant because let's, you'll see we did get a bunch of Paragon points, of course, which makes sense given how we basically used the charm option and found a way to negotiate out of that situation. Let's save here, just because I'm experimenting a bit. And this could potentially backfire a bit. So, just in case this goes horrendously wrong, we'll have that to fall back on, that save. So, what I want to see is this go boom with a sniper rifle. No, not actually though. That was just a coincidence. What I want to see is if we go through here, So, of course, we chose the peaceful option, which, like I said, is actually a very hard skill check to make. So, for that reason, I deliberately tried to wait until later on, once we had fully upgraded our charm. We come back here. Actually see this monitor? Well, that doesn't do anything, I suppose. Okay. Because what I thought was the case, and maybe it was just the dialogue option that we chose, made this not actually possible. But I thought that what you could do was actually, even after conversing with... Obviously, there are many different things that can happen, depending on what course of action you take there. Because Corporal Toombs wanted to kill the scientist. The scientist was saying, you should shoot this guy before he shoots me. So as you can probably imagine, you can walk out of that situation with a lot more dead people than what we had, even if there do seem to be a lot of dead people hanging out on the ground right now. So that's one thing that can change. And then I also thought that in some situations, even if they do survive, you can retroactively make the decision to, well, pull out a Glock on them. Which I was going to see if we could do there, just to see if it's possible, but they have disappeared, so apparently not. At least not with the course of action that we took. But that is, of course, still, having taken the peaceful option, definitely the way that I wanted to make sure that we could have that go, and hence why I wanted to make sure that we had all the charm to make that happen. So, let's hop back up to the Normandy in that case.